Hey.
All right, I went ahead and invited the people who are going to be in here aside from Bill Bates.
Oh, cool. So
And Darren. I haven't invited either of them.
who have you invited so far?
All right, we got Chris Kosmala, Ken Shroop, Caleb Mezzi, Mike Mahoney, Allison.
Mahoney just said he wanted an invite. Cool.
Yeah, I already talked to everybody on Twitter and verified that they will be ready at 9 p.m. So,
oh, good.
Yeah, everything
They can't
is
click on
prepared.
early?
I've already invited them right now. So
they could come on early?
yeah, they should be getting in here right now.
Okay, that's not a bad idea. Have them on before the guest.
Well,
Yeah.
there aren't going to be. Who do you mean? They.
Before Woodson comes on.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll get it
Okay,
primed. We'll go live.
Yeah, I kind of like that.
We'll get an audience ready, and then
Yeah, that way he's not waiting around. Hey,
Right.
Ken.
What's up, guys?
We already tested with Woody and stuff. It's pretty cool.
Excellent.
Ken, I think we've got something here, man. Bringing on some special guests and stuff.
Yeah, I'm already thinking about maybe who from, like, the front office side that we can invite.
Yeah, true. Yeah. I know the players, so that's an easy one. But what's cool about these guys, too, is they're entrepreneurs. So they are sports biz entrepreneurs kind of deal, you know?
Well, no, I would say that we definitely want to make sure that we invite. I'm all for inviting athletes, just as long as they're on to talk sports biz, not talk about their glory days. I mean, they can talk some about their glory days. That's cool, but
although that could be a totally different animal too.
Well, that's true. I mean, but that's almost a different channel.
No, it's a totally different channel. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But think about all these people that would love to interact with athletes like that. The current athletes won't really do it, but the former ones, why not? Oh, I totally agree. Charles.
Thank you.
You got a title now. How do I get one of those things?
You got a Mac, right?
Yeah.
Here, we just go to this website and you can have it going, I believe, without too many problems.
I don't have a Mac.
Or should not mess with it right now.
I don't know. I don't know how difficult it is.
Focus on your hard-hitting reporter questions.
Okay, so did you send that Pedicolis guy an invite as well?
I did, yes. He was having issues.
He's asking, what do I do now?
Click on it, click the checkbox, and hit Join Hangout.
So if I send him this link up here?
Oh, do you have access to that link? Yeah.
Which one? The one that's up top?
Mm-hmm.
If I send that to anybody, that gets them on?
Yeah, but just make sure you're doing it with the people that we've invited.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, there's the link that I have, if that will help you any.
Where? And is that
in the chat.
Can Bill watch it as well?
Bill can watch from the website. If he clicks on that link, he won't be watching it. If he wants a view link, hold on, I can send him that.
Yeah, send him that. Huh. It's interesting. I
just found out a guy that was championing me to come into a team to do training just got laid off yesterday.
Ouch.
Wait, say that again?
That's not good. There was a team, an NBA team I've been talking to about coming in and doing LinkedIn training. And the guy that kind of brought me to the table got laid off on Friday.
Oh, no.
He just sent me a note. Of course, he sent me a note asking me how I could help him update his LinkedIn profile. But the good news is that the guy that is the new VP, I was on that panel at the sports business conference in Oklahoma City.
Hey, Lou can't do it tonight, Charles.
Right, I already talked to Lou.
Still may be able to save it.
I don't have a mouse right now.
You know what? Don't worry about it. I don't need to be messing with that right now with 3 minutes to go here.
I'll be right back. I gotta go grab batteries.
How's it going?
Hey there. We don't see you.
I do.
I see
really?
me.
I don't. Oh, now I do. It's just, I see if I push on you, but down low you're a black hole.
Strange.
This is my last Google Hangout from my home office for a year.
What is going on, dude? Where are you going? Why are you going?
I'm going to Knoxville because the rental market in this town is nuts, and I put my house out for rent, and I got 3 offers in 6 hours, and had a little bidding war.
But why do you have to move to Knoxville?
Well, because I have 2 really good friends there, so I'm just going for the summer. I have 2 really good friends there, and I can live with them, and they travel a lot for work too, and then I travel for work, and between the 3 of us, we can all kind of watch the dogs and cut expenses on dog sitters, and my dog's brother lives there, so she's excited about that.
All right, Mahoney's asking when are we going here. See, I think people are getting confused again.
Okay, I can send it to him. I can send him the link.
Have you sent
Are they
everybody?
confused because it's 9 o'clock Eastern?
No, they're confused because I guess they can't get in without it being sent to Twitter still.
Oh.
Should we get Woodson on now?
You got 2 more minutes till 9, so let's wait till then.
Yeah, I would wait.
Get a couple more people in here because they were all planning for 9.
Okay. So, tell me how to send it. Do I just copy that link and send it to this other guy?
Yes.
And that gets him in?
Yes.
Okay. See if that works.
I just sent Mahoney one. Sorry, I lost, my batteries died in my mouse.
Oh, gosh.
I had to go get batteries. Alright, Allison, Ken. Where's Chris?
So I didn't know I had the capability of inviting somebody. Let's try.
We just gained this knowledge from Jonathan Chung the other day.
Sorry, guys. We're still working on this. Just give us a sec here.
No problem.
Okay, so... Oh, I can't
Ellie,
invite.
what's going on?
I don't have the invite.
Oh, watching the end of the Devils game, just hanging out.
Are they winning?
No, they're down 3-1 to Pittsburgh.
Caleb's killing me. Somebody else has to send him a direct message. I can't, and we can't just tweet this out. The invite link will get picked up by random people.
Okay.
Whoa.
So can you invite people?
Yeah, you can just copy that link in and paste it somewhere, and they'll be invited.
Okay. Here comes Caleb.
There we go.
Hey.
Way to go, man.
What's up, man? I couldn't direct message you on Twitter. You haven't followed me yet.
Oh, boo.
Boo.
One of those unfollow things.
You know what's weird about that is I get that too where I've been following someone for like a year, and they're like, dude, you're not following me. I'm like, no, I have been. And it just like they lose.
It's very weird because my followers go down and my following goes down at the same time.
Yeah. Huh.
That happened to me and you, Caleb.
Wood's ready to roll, but I don't want to look shabby here and only have 5 people, so we're waiting for 2 more people before we get going.
Chris, Tazmala, and Mike Mahoney. Mike Mahoney's trying to get in.
And so is Pedicolis, and that would be enough.
Yeah, I can't seem to get Pedicolis in here either. He may be in a different hangout.
Should I not tell Darren that I'm an Eagles fan?
No, go for it.
Can I move myself so that my Tony Romo fathead is behind me?
I'm wearing my Giant shirt.
Uh-oh.
It seriously was just the one in the rotation today that I grabbed after my shower. So.
Hey, Charles, I think we get him on, man, because I don't want to...
There's
Yeah,
Michael. Yeah, let's go for it, man.
I mean, what's the format, Chris? Is he going to be...
Michael Pedicolis, welcome.
I'm in. I made it.
All right.
Can you
Excellent.
hear me?
Yes, we can. Excellent. You're right. Turn down. I think.
All right, good.
We're getting feedback from you. Okay. So what was that? Okay, so
So,
we're
yeah, what was
better.
that?
there. That looks better. That looks good. Okay, Bates is now. Okay, we got a surprise. It says party's over. He says party's over. Charles,
Who?
Bates.
Yeah, he's still in that other hangout. I told him that it's okay. Tell him to just hang tight for a minute.
Well, how can you watch this one?
Oh, he needs to either go to the website or it's not up there yet. Go to he can't yet.
Can you go to this thing here?
No. I have to invite him. I'm inviting
Okay.
him.
You know
Tell
what
him
we
not
should
to
do?
click on this
Hey, you know
link.
what we should do? Let's invite him now, get him on the show, and tell him to cover up his screen, and then he's on.
That's a good idea.
Let's do that. We're gonna have a surprise for Woodson.
Are you, Chris? Chris,
Yeah.
do you have questions geared up for him, or are we
I've
just
got
winging
just two.
this?
Just give me two to warm him up, and then y'all could fire away.
Okay. I want to hear what he thinks about Tebow.
Okay, you can ask him whatever you want, man.
Don't tell JW.
I know, that's why I'm saying, Chris, you have to figure that out.
No,
You
I
have to
don't
do
care.
it before 9:30 or after 10:30.
Okay.
Here's Kazmala.
Hey, remember I hosted that show once, and I asked about Tebow.
Yeah, I know this guy. I think that's why you're not doing it anymore, right?
You did.
No.
You got banned for life.
They want me back.
Charles, how did you get that thing at the bottom of your screen?
Pedicola says, hang tight. We're getting organized here.
So,
Hey, no problem. I'll sit back. I'll let the professionals get this squared away.
Well, I'm not professional. This is,
You're on the wrong hangout.
you're in the wrong hangout.
We're only
This
profesh
is
here.
Yeah.
Hey,
There's,
Charles.
there's our
Yes.
Sunday night
Bill
humor.
now.
Yes, I already
Tell
did.
him about- what we're doing, guys, is I also invited Bill Bates, his former teammate, to surprise him. They haven't talked in like 10 years. But
Oh, it's like a Maury.
we didn't want to try and time it out, so we're gonna
I think they have been talking.
try and time this out and bring him on now.
He's not on his list or anything, is he?
Well, maybe it's been 4 years,
They
but I
might
like
be.
to make it a 10-year thing. It sounds better.
Is this going to be one of those awkward moments that goes
Yeah,
viral?
that's what we're hoping.
Nice.
Chris, can you hear us? Okay, hey, now,
Good.
now
Perfect.
Yeah, I'm good.
We'll have a good chat tonight.
Yates, you're supposed to be the professional, and you're the only one whose head has about 12 inches above you and your chin is cut off.
I know. There. Sorry. I'm
Because he's
focused on
trying to
other
get
stuff right
his
now.
in the shot.
I'm focused on other stuff here. I've got 10 things going.
Your wife looks beautiful in the background in that
Thank
photo.
you. I know. I need to get a better backdrop. My backdrop is horrible.
What happened to the one last week? You were doing good last week.
I know. It's just a problem. Yeah, I just don't have time for it. Okay, so Charles, are we inviting Bill first?
Yeah, that's what you said that we could do. Either that or invite Darren. I don't know that Bill's going to be able to get in very easily. He seems to be a little confused where he is.
All right, I'm calling him now.
I was gonna give him a personal message here, but I don't know if it's gonna help much.
I'll call him.
Calling him. What's that?
Yeah, don't talk about that on air now.
Here, I'll mute myself here.
Are you calling Bill or are you calling Darren?
Bill first.
Okay. I haven't invited Darren yet. I'm not going to be able to very easily.
Let's not lose him. It is 8:07.
I can't hear you.
Oh,
Yates.
he said, are y'all ready? I said, give me a sec. He goes, okay, no problem. Hold on one sec. Did you send him a link?
Bill?
Yeah.
No, I thought that's what you were calling him. I'll send him one right now. I already invited him, but
You know what? This is going to be all messed up anyway. Let's just bring on... We tried to organize this early. We actually had both of them on at 7:15 and like 7:30. Like 30 minutes ago. separate times.
Murphy, stop. Darren needs to follow more people on Twitter.
Who does?
He does, Darren.
And, all right, Charles, what do you recommend, my friend?
Send Darren the email.
Okay.
That should get him in.
This whole spontaneity thing's going to be ruined, but that's all right. Let's just roll with it.
Let's see what happens.
It's more important to get the guy on the darn show.
Well, if you get Bates to drop in and he jumps in when Woodson's already on, it's still going to be a surprise.
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't know he's coming.
I just tweeted that. Is that wrong of me?
Why are you trying to ruin my party, man? All right, so we're sending him the link now?
Chris, put your sign behind you.
I
Oh.
Did
would
you
have to
send
rip
him
it
the
down
invite,
and
Chris?
then bring it in here, and then I'd have to like position my head where it was blocking the logo, and I need to get another one made without the sponsor.
Just put tape over it.
Yeah, duct tape that.
Then it just doesn't look as good, you know, with the gold background. I'll think of
as far as peer-to-peer. And it's basically the local tour guide. I don't care who it may be. You may be a guy that knows the backcountry in Denver, Colorado. You may be someone that lives in Dallas that just knows the local market well and has lived there your entire life. We allow those people to be guides, list their profile page on our site, and just make money that way. I mean, and I think it's a lot of it with the economy, the way it's gone over the last couple of years. The big corporate industry, they've been making money for a long time. Now it's time for people to be able to interact with one another and make money on the side. And as far as the consumer, you save money at the same time. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get away from that big old tour bus that you're normally seeing, where you got 15, 20 people on this huge tour bus, and you never really get the feel of what New York City may be or what the feel of Dallas, Texas may be. We want that local guide to be able to take you around and just really experience what a vacation may be, or just get a great experience in all.
And then Bill, obviously, a lot of NFL players. My last question, I want to open up to the floor. A lot of NFL players struggle once they leave the game. A lot of them end up bankrupt and don't really know how to do business. You guys have done well. Bill, what about you? You've kind of done some entrepreneur stuff as well outside of football. You've made a living.
Well, very much so. To be able to have people that you work with, I mean, that's the key, is if you can find great people, and no matter what it is, you're going to have success. Well, I've got some Tennessee friends that live here in Ponte Vedra, live here in Florida, that we have created a site called Planet High School. It's planeths.com, and it is an online community just for high schools. And it is just one high school is controlled by somebody at the school, because the schools do not like YouTube, Facebook, and everything, because they cannot control it. This site is controlled by someone at the school, so it's communication with teachers, students, parents, grandparents. And we started this program when my boys were playing at Nice High School, and Timmy Tebow was playing there, and we were wanting to create a great platform for the kids to get recruited and to the school to get noticed. Well, it not only went from football, it went from all other sports, all to clubs, and then straight to the high school, the teachers and the students and the parents. It's just a great communication link. And obviously, it's a way for the kids and the teachers to text the students, because, gosh, you know how expensive texting can be. But everything that's on this site is free to the high schools. So they actually get some stipends coming their way. So it's really a great avenue to be able to communicate with the students, with the teachers, with the parents, with the grandparents. And obviously that's the reason we did it. My grandparents wanted to see what was going on down here at the high school, and my parents and things like that. So it's been really exciting. It's growing. You might check it, planeths.com. Anybody can get signed up now. It just takes a little bit to do it and get schools in. It's very exciting.
That's awesome. I say I open it up. We just go down the list. You guys fire away. I mean, it's an open conversation here. We're broadcasting to the world. I'm glad you're back, Charles. You were booted out with your own Google Plus Hangout.
We're back. We're live.
Awesome. Cool. So whoever has a question, or do we want to go down the list, or how do y'all want to do this?
Hey, Chris, there's one thing I'd like to just interject. I have a friend in Tampa that has controlled the Angelo Dundee's collection of Muhammad Ali's gear.
Okay.
And it is amazing.
You're breaking up a little.
Okay, sorry. This group that I've been working with is handle Angelo Dundee's collection of Muhammad Ali's equipment.
Okay.
And there are so many unbelievable things. Boxing gloves, obviously, all the gloves that he used when he fought. Angelo kept all that stuff, and they are in actually Las Vegas now, getting ready to make a big sale of all this gear. And as you can imagine, it's very top-notch stuff, and it's very expensive. But if there's anybody here that's listening to this that would be interested in taking a look at it, whatever, just Facebook me. You can do that very easily, and send me a message, and I can get you the information.
Okay. Cool. All right, fire away, boys and girls. Come on, don't be bashful.
I'll go.
All right.
Both of you guys, since this is a...
well, Ken, introduce yourself to your Dallas.
I'm sorry. Yeah, hey guys, my name is Ken Troop. I'm a ticket sales background guy. I was senior director of sales of the Rangers for a long time. I've been out on my own consulting the last 3 or 4 years, really trying to help teams kind of bridge that gap on social media and how to use social media to enhance the organization's brand, enhance, let ticket sales guys do their job better, things like that. So that's kind of who I am. And I had a question for both of you guys, since Chris has teed this up, that you're both, kind of focused on after playing success and things like that. And one of my pet peeves right now are all these just crazy tattoos that these athletes are getting. What do you guys think about, what those guys are doing to themselves, and how I had a guy that worked for me at the Rangers for a long time, played defensive back at Texas Tech, and this was 8-9 years ago before this really got out of hand, and he wore a long sleeve shirt every day at the ballpark, and I go, dude, you can wear a short sleeve shirt, and he rolled up his sleeve and he had tattoos all up and down his arms, because I just don't feel comfortable. What one bit of advice would you tell those guys when they're thinking about getting ink or not getting ink or whatever, or what do you think about that trend?
From my standpoint, what I've told my boys is, let's think about what you're doing now, and sure, you want it everybody to see it. It'll be out there, but what will it look like, and what will it be like 20 years from now? And you're maybe changing your body, you're getting older, things aren't looking quite as good. Are you sure you want to have that there? My youngest triplet, Hunter, he was on his way to get a tattoo. And we found out about it, we talked about it, and he ended up getting a tattoo, but it's in a spot where it's underneath his arm, so you can't see it. And it is basically in Latin, it's "Let God's will be done," which I thought was great, but it's in a spot that he's not going to be where he'd be embarrassed later on in life.
Well, Woodson has a tattoo, guidehop.com somewhere, I know.
No, I don't. No, I got a story for that one. I was with my daughter. I had a 14-year-old daughter, and we were at the Fair Park. And there was this lady. She was about 80. She had to be 75, 80 years old. She had a tattoos, I should say, up and down her arm. And you can imagine at about 75 what your body looks like. Am I right?
Oh, wow. Okay.
Well, she had like a pirate, and I guarantee the pirate probably had, I don't know if it was a pirate or what it was, but it only had one eye, and the skin was hanging over the left eye, so it made it look like it only had one eye, if you understand what I'm talking about. So the skin was hanging over.
Oh, my.
That was one thing that my daughter saw, and I said, that's when tattoos go bad. You don't want to have a tattoo. Understand, you're going to get old one of these days, and that's what's going to happen. But, listen, I grew up in a neighborhood that, people had tattoos all their lives, and they started off at an early age. I personally have no problem with folks I don't have a tattoo. I don't have any problems with people that do have tattoos. I just think as far as my kids and how I treat the situation, you just got to be honest. And it's going to happen. I mean, at some point, your kids may get a tattoo, but, you just got to be honest about what it's going to look like in a professional setting later on in their lives.
Well, I'm going to throw out a timely one then. And you know where I'm going with this, Woody, because this just happened this week. Troy Aikman says Tony Rome was a better quarterback, and of all people, Woodson came out Thursday and was like, no way. What was all that? That was interesting.
Better quarterback than who?
And Troy.
He said he's better. Wow.
Troy Aikman said that Tony Romo was better than him at this point in his career, and Woodson said, what was your comment, Woody?
I just stopped by. I told him he was drinking. And I told everyone on air that Troy must have had some type of Crown Royal in his hand or
a concussion.
Hey, listen, I love what Tony's done. I even said on air I thought that Tony is probably the most athletic quarterback that I've actually played with, no doubt. I mean, he's probably the most athletic of all the guys that I've seen come through the Cowboys Stadium or
really?
not only that, but at Arizona State and in high school, whatever. He's that athletic. But as far as all around, when you're talking about a quarterback that can control a huddle, a guy that can be a leader on and off the field, a guy that's highly respected, and a guy that has jewelry. I mean, the guy has rings. He has those things that are in the back of Bill Bates' in his office right there. Those trophies come from the fact that Troy Aikman led that football team. I just don't think there's a comparison, and really don't understand why Troy said those things other than to boost Tony's confidence or whatnot. But I'll go down to my grave and tell everyone that would ever listen, when they ask me the question, who's the best quarterback that you ever saw play the game or played against, I always tell them, I say, hey, there's one guy that I saw every day at practice who was the best quarterback that I ever saw, and that was Troy Aikman, because I saw him every day. I knew exactly what he had to deal with as far as dealing with Michael Irvin, Emmitt Smith, Dave Newton, and those guys, and being accurate with football. I just thought he was an unbelievable football player.
And I'm a diehard Tony Romo fan. I loved him before he even became the starter. And I thought Troy was nuts. So
yeah, he's drinking.
For the first time, guys, this year is that I saw Tony look like he had command of the huddle.
Yeah.
He had more control. The one thing that Troy Aikman had and Roger Staubach had was that when they played the game, they expected success. They expected it. Now, when failure came their way and it wasn't their fault or whatever, they were in other players' faces and they were competing. They were trying to get the players to play better and compete harder each and every play. Tony, this past year, was the first year that I really saw him kind of change a role of, now I'm sick and tired of this, and now I want you to change. I want you to play better. I want you to run the right routes or whatever. I want you to compete. All those years with Troy Aikman, he expected success, and so when things, obviously we scored touchdowns, he threw touchdown passes, whatever, it was a high five, yeah, we did it, he expected it. But when there was failure, that's when his true demeanor came out and his competition came out, and he helped everybody else compete at a high level.
All right, Caleb, you guys are last up. Caleb and Chris, what do you got?
Hey, I'm Caleb. I have to admit I am an Eagles fan.
Oh,
so it's hard to just listen to you guys talk. I'm a Philadelphia guy.
I'm New Jersey. I'm not rooting for the Eagles or the Giants.
We're in Jersey.
Right near Princeton.
So
right
Central.
in between the two. So I said, forget
right.
both of them. I'm going Dallas.
Yeah. Well, I hang out in the digital social space, trying to intersect that with sports and stuff. Bill, I actually want to connect with you post-hangout and talk about Planet HS, because some of the stuff I do is working with camps and programs that are in the summer. And I work, outside of Philadelphia, where we can kind of connect with the high school stuff.
Sure.
I don't know if we can fully do it, but I'll let you know what I'm talking about and what I have in mind.
Right.
So
well, I still have a number of camps that I coach and that I'm the head coach of. So there's a company that you might look at the dates. It's called Offense Defense. It's O/D.com. offense
Okay.
defense camps. I know Woody's heard of them. And then there's also the camps called footballcamps.com.
Okay.
Those two companies are so I'm doing camps this coming up summer with those companies.
Cool. Well, a lot of the stuff, actually, I don't know if you're familiar, Darren might actually be a little familiar with it too, is NFL Player Engage. So they're
very
launching,
much so.
They're launching this program with the NFL at Wharton, where they're inviting like top, athletes in high school. It doesn't matter to the sport, doesn't matter male or female. And we're actually running that program. We're doing all the marketing for that stuff. It's just through Derek Hagan's and the staff at WSBI, Wharton Sports Business Initiative. So that's kind of the stuff that we're doing in sports. We also have a Sports Business Academy. It's kind of confusing and it's lengthy. I don't want to take up the time to talk about it, but we can talk offline about that and see what kind of things we can connect. Because the only sports we really do right now is tennis and golf. So to expand,
I love both of them.
yeah, good, because they're sports you can play forever. That's why we do.
Sure. Yes,
So that's
okay.
just something. And then I also just started a website called Tweetstar Game. So we've talked about this in other hangouts, but it's something I would love to talk to you and Darren about and kind of see.
Yeah, I think what is it about? It's about athletes.
Yeah, so well, recently we got mentioned in Mashable, and it's kind of opened my mind to what I think will eventually happen with sports outlets, meaning like ESPN, Yahoo Sports, CBS Sports, all those kind of sports outlets, where I think there's going to be a fundamental shift in focusing on the social media usage. I mean, we see it right now. People are reporting on certain things that athletes tweet or certain topics like Peyton Manning going to the Broncos, and seeing the rise in who's influential, who's tweeting this, what's the controversy going on. And I think that eventually we're going to see a shift where there's a focus onto social media in sports, how it relates, the coverage and all that stuff.
That's what I've been telling these guys a lot.
I think that we're going to see, so right now you go to ESPN, you go to CBS, you go to Yahoo Sports, you really see sports coverage in total, news, rumors, all that stuff. Then you see fantasy sports, columns, news, advice, all that stuff. I think there's going to be another section soon where there's social media in sports. What's going on, who's influential, who's the guy to follow, who's the Jeremy Lin, who's the Tim Tebow. And that's kind of what we're trying to do, rank these guys based off their clout score, kind of make it competitive and put a dynamic game piece onto it. So we can talk all about that stuff. We're right now building the database and adding content and stuff like that. So it's a work in progress, but that's what Startup is. So.
And then Chris works over at LSU, SEC football. Y'all know that well, especially Bill Bates.
What?
Yeah, I'm sure, yeah. I will say I did go for the first time to a Tennessee game this year when we played in Knoxville. I actually had a lot of fun on that trip. That's probably, outside of LSU, that's probably my favorite venue to watch a game in now in the SEC. I had a great trip there. But, yeah, I work in corporate sales down at LSU.
Wow, that's great. Yeah,
Hey, James.
It is.
Hey, Chris.
Yeah.
I have a question for you guys. My name's Allie Bickford. I work at Genesco Sports up in New Jersey. But 2 years ago, I actually worked for the U.S. Army All-American Bowl on the high school football game down in San Antonio.
And tell them, backtrack a little bit on Genesco, how big Genesco is one of the biggest sports marketing firms in the world.
Yeah, I work in the activation department, so I'm doing event marketing and that type of thing for Chevy up in the Northeast. We're looking to break into some other stuff, but obviously starting to get involved with some of the other things that Genesco does, and obviously a lot of it's based out of Dallas. So it's been a great experience this past year. But my question is, I work for the U.S. Army All-American Bowl. With the press that these high school kids are starting to get and just the amount of media that follows them from such a young age, what type of impact do you guys think that's having on these guys who are 17, 18 years old getting followed around by ESPN and NBC, and what these games do to the psyche of these players?
That's a good question.
To me, yeah, it's a great question. To me, since I've had 3 boys already graduate high school, and 2 of them have played college football, and one that is a sophomore in high school that's getting recruited. I know that everything is changing from the time that I was coming through and Darren was coming through, that there is so much more social community type things. Then obviously there's so much more television coverage and radio coverage and things that I think in high school, if they aren't already doing classes on social media, then they're wrong. They should already be doing it. The computer has changed everything, and it has allowed us to be able to communicate tonight. But you're right. There's so much more attention to these players, and that if they aren't in a class or someone that is guiding them to do the right thing, and not the parents can only do so much. So that 6 to 8 hours that they are at the school, they need to have somebody that is guiding them in the right direction.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. I think when you see a lot of these kids come out now, and I thought it really started when LeBron James came out, about 6, 7 years ago, how the social media aspect of it really started pushing them nationally, worldwide, actually. And you saw a kid, basically you were able to see a kid grow from a young age up until whenever, and it's blown up since. And I think the one thing that you really have to go back on with a lot of these kids is who are they surrounding themselves that help them make the right decisions as far as being a 17, 18-year-old kid tweeting out certain things. Understand that before you push that send button, you really have to think about it and make sure that you're doing the right thing. But I think there's one positive where it really gets your name out there, really gets your brand out there. But then the negative is that whatever it comes out of your mouth, now it's global. And it can really hurt you in the end. And I think that's one of the things that is hard to balance. And it's not just the colleges. The colleges can't do it. I think it starts at home as far as parents, friends, getting them educating on the situation.
Can I actually add something, even though I'm not a former athlete? Is that okay?
No. No, you can't.
I have a client.
No.
I have a client that I work with called Varsity Monitor, and what they do is they deal with social media monitoring, and they work with the colleges. They also work with the NFL, and certain stuff that they're doing is like they're monitoring stuff and kind of helping people enhance their brand based off of best practices. This is kind of why I'm trying to help spread the word about them and help their own efforts. But one of the things that I think, and this is kind of something that everybody should just keep doing, they keep just saying educate these guys, but it's much more than educating, because you can educate someone in school and they're the smartest person by book smart, but then they leave in the real world and they can't cross the street. They don't know what they're doing. So I don't think the education is where we stop. I don't even think it's I think it's a portion of step one. I think another thing that we have to do is we have to figure out a way to spin the negative into positives. So a way that the player can help his brand, and it's not just educated, it's kind of just spinning something. So like you said, LeBron James, LeBron's always going to have haters. Everybody's going to always have haters. But how can you take those haters? And Tim Tebow does a great job of this. It's impossible to hate that guy. Because
a lot of people do for some reason, though.
Well, it's probably more jealousy than I actually hate LeBron because he can't finish in the fourth quarter kind of thing. It's more of like Tim Tebow is spinning everything for the positive. Anything that comes negative to him, he's taking it and saying, hey, have faith in me, stick with me, I'll get through the process. And I think that's one of the things, if you're an athlete and you're getting negative tweets, all this stuff, you just had a bad game, don't just, retweet it and say, this guy's a fool, or don't take it to heart. Say, how can I spin it so I can work harder, I can look within myself and spin it, say, let's make a positive out of this. I have to watch more film, because if this guy thinks it, I want to make more fans and help my brand. Those are
you're talking about being humble as an athlete, right? Almost.
Yeah, it never happens.
Outside of himself, probably the most humble guy you'll ever met, and that's the reason he is what he is. And
right.
Social media aspect, he has been so strong. But now you're talking about, I know I was an athlete, and Bill's probably the most cockiest guy that you'll ever meet. But no, I'm just joking, Bill. But there's a lot of arrogant guys out there. That's hard to suppress that that part of you. I mean, you really, and I think that's where the education comes in. You got to find a way to educate that kid to say, hey, you can actually brand yourself in a positive way.
Exactly.
Instead of being, going towards a negative.
Right, because there's not many people who are going to look through your mentions and say, oh, man, this guy's getting so much shit online and, like, everything. What's his name? Kyle Williams of the 49ers when he messed up that punt return.
Yeah.
He's a perfect guy. Everybody was like, oh, just go away from Twitter, go to Hawaii, and just kind of, like, sleep it off and all that stuff. This guy could have went up and owned it. He could have said, hey, I made a mistake. It is a team game, all this stuff, but, I'm going to come back next year better than I am. And people would have been like, wow, this guy is serious. I mean, the thing is that all these people, all the haters, all the people, they just want a response. If you would have retweeted them, they would have been like, wow, he retweeted me. Or if you would have commented, you're opening the conversation. They don't want you to say, oh, man, that guy, said I suck. I do suck, like that kind of thing. They just want a response. So if you say, hey, I'm sorry you feel that way about me. Let me come in next year. Give me one more season to prove myself. Let me make you a believer. That kind of stuff. People will be like, wow, I got a response.
Yeah.
And that's really all they want. So, I mean, I think leave it at that and see how you can brand yourself. And what you just said is dead on.
Well, guys, I appreciate it. I don't want to take too much more time. You can stay as long as you want. I know Matt's trying to get on. Charles, you still there? Charles just left the room.
Looks like he will be right back.
He went to get his dog.
Matt's trying to come on.
If anybody cares or matters, the first question on the sports chat was about dynamic pricing and how it's going to hurt or help your brand.
Right.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's your thing, Ken.
I've already answered. I was
love that.
away.
But Matt writes some articles for Forbes, and he's trying to get on to interact with you guys. I don't know how much more time you have. I know you may need to head out, but
I had a question. First of all, I just want to I think Caleb really hit it on the head. Not just players, but I think anybody in the sports industry needs to worry about managing their personal social media presence and how it can help the team in branding and marketing and selling tickets and things like that. But I had a question for you both, since you're both, obviously been in the sports business for a long time, obviously on the athlete side, not the business side, but what would be, if you had the opportunity, that one or two bit of advice to the sports business on how to market and sell more tickets? What's one thing that you've always wondered why they haven't done?
Oh, well, winning sells tickets.
That helps.
that usually does a lot. So what does that mean? It's all.
A good owner. Most owners will tell you that you can't depend on winning, and that's not. If you're losing, that's not an excuse not to be selling. So.
Right. So you're talking about it from the marketing department and things that what the players would have liked to have seen the marketing department do more of.
Or an idea that you have that you think could help enhance or market the team.
Well, the way to market is obviously getting your brand out there in a positive way. And I always wondered why the Cowboys didn't use more of the players to market their brand and sell tickets. There's maybe an extra charge there, but I'm sure that it's worth it if you use the players that are playing the game at the time.
Yeah. You know what? I agree. I think the one thing I see in the NFL, and if I'm even looking at the Dallas Cowboys, one thing I do see is they are dinosaurs. I mean, there are a lot of old dinosaurs that own the teams. I'm not saying this in a negative way, but as far as catching up with technology and as far as catching up with the social media side of things, they're slow to get there.
Yeah.
And I think that's where it starts. I was just at South by Southwest, and I've met so many people that have talked to me about the same thing, about why isn't the NFL in touch with the social media aspect and how much you can really push their brand out there, and they just don't get it just yet. In due time, the NFL will catch up. Just hadn't caught up. And Chris, I mean, thank God I just saw Chris the other day as far as when we were talking about Google Plus and being on here. It's an eye-opener for myself because I'm used to being
frozen.
Yeah. I love it.
Did you guys just see what I wrote in the chat for a second? Side note.
No, I've been reading the.
I heard the NFL is trying to get on board with kind of a similar approach to MLBAM.
Horrible.
Hey, I've had some technical difficulties during a big portion of this, but I wanted to back up and see if I could ask a question or follow up on something that Woodson mentioned earlier, which, you know, you brought up Troy Aikman's command in the huddle and command over a football team. I was curious as what kind of command he had over the defensive side of the ball. Did it ever transfer over to the is he, you know, you don't hear much about that. I've always kind of been curious what kind of role does a player like that, a Hall of Famer, a big name guy like that, a franchise player, have over the defensive side of the football? Does he ever come up to you, Woodson? Did he ever come up to you, Bates, and say, hey, what the hell is going on, or anything like that? And then you mentioned Aikman being the best player you ever played with, and I'm curious, what are your thoughts on Steve Young? I always thought he was just an absolute beast, and, I mean, y'all played against him. I mean, those were epic battles, and I just thought the guy was, if not as good, I mean, a hair below Aikman, and I'm curious about what your thoughts are on that guy's ability on the field, because, I mean, obviously he had that scrambling ability over Aikman. I don't know about everything else, but the dude could run, and I'm curious about those two things. Let me know.
You know, I totally
Woodson, you still
there.
frozen?
I totally lost you guys. I just got
Were you
back.
frozen? You froze for a while, man.
Yeah, I knocked me off, man. I got kicked off. I guess it's a Philadelphia Eagle fan to kick my.
Yeah, I think it was. That was the first time I ever saw you frozen.
You froze a lot of players, though.
You look like Deshaun going across the middle.
So I
So the basic question.
Go ahead.
So the basic question was the difference between a guy like Steve Young at the 49ers and Troy Aikman. What was the difference being a great players? And obviously,
Well,
go ahead.
yeah, I mean, that's the basic gist of it. I mean, I was just kind of taken when Woodson said, hey, Aikman was the best player I ever played with or I was ever on the field with. And I understand, hey, okay, he's talking about his own player, but I'm just thinking about you guys have some epic battles with these guys, and the guy was great. And I'm curious, where does he rank in this echelon when you say, hey, he's the best player I ever played with? Where does he rank all time in your mind or compared to some of these other guys that are even close to Aikman? And then again, did Aikman ever come in and, have anything to do with the defensive side of the football during the heat of battle, during a game? Did he ever come over to you guys? Was there ever any transference over to the defensive side of the football by an offensive player?
I like that question.
Yeah, it did not happen during games. In practice, is what we saw, that the true commitment to compete each and every day in practice. That's the one thing that, sometimes I don't see guys during games with the Cowboys in the secondary. Obviously, the secondary has been a problem, but is that all of a sudden they aren't competing like I would like to see them compete, and I'm sure everybody else would like to see them compete. And to me, it goes all the way to practice. And so when on practice Wednesday and Thursday and Friday, if you're not competing each and every time you're out there, because you don't know if that's going to be your last time to play the game. The last game, the last play, whatever, you can get hurt and be totally out of there. So I just think the thing that we saw with Troy was that each and every practice, each and every play, he competed, and that dude could throw a ball. You'd have Jay Novacek covered, have Michael Irvin covered, and throw it to that one spot where you couldn't reach it. And that's what was so amazing. Joe Montana had it. Steve Young.
Who has it now?
Didn't have quite the accuracy that Troy had.
Let's talk one other thing real quick. Let's move forward a little. You guys, Woodson, I asked you this at South by. I'll let you lead it off, and then Bill, I want you to follow it. Let's talk a little sports business, okay? Or even just business in general. what do you think is tougher? Is it tougher to play in the National Football League, or is it tougher to be an entrepreneur like you guys are being right now?
Oh, hands down, entrepreneur. I mean, for me, I always thought that, and I'm speaking for myself, I always felt like football came easy to me. And it was always that easy when I was in high school, college, or whatnot. I always felt like that's what I did. That was my job, was to be a football player. So it was natural. Being an entrepreneur, there's so many highs and lows. And football's the same way, so many highs and lows, but the risk in being an entrepreneur,
so you've been laid out a few times out here.
Yeah. There's a financial risk that really applies, and you really have to do a good job as far as knowing the right people, understanding how things work, because I think one thing in business and as far as an entrepreneur, everyone can love you because you played football.
Right.
And it becomes money and their personal money is involved. It's totally different. They'll love you for a second, but when it's business, it's business. And I think that is, what I've learned about, the business world is that there are no tomorrows. It is right now, get the job done, and your work ethic has to be even greater than the next person. So the competition for me is that much more fun to me than it was playing in the NFL. And I know how competitive I was and Bill was in the NFL, but it was more mano a mano in the NFL. This is more mentally you have to be ready and prepared every day, and that's the challenge I love about guide hopping, what I'm doing right now as far as an entrepreneur.
Bill, what about you? Is it tougher?
I truly think it's tougher. Now, I was in athletics at a young age from 7 to 8, and then all the way to 37, 38. So athletics was just my life. Now, if I had not played sports and gone into business at a young age, then I would be much more astute in business now. So I really think that obviously the Players Association and the NFL, they try to help the players that think they're going to play forever and only play 3 years and then they're out, that they are trying to totally move them in a direction where they are they're not losing those years of business. So that's 15 years in the league. I tried to do some business, had my ranch, do some business to get things started, because I never knew how long it was going to play, and thought today or the next day was going to be my last day. So tried to get things going, but economically and things that come along when you are playing are not the same things that you would have been able to do if you weren't playing football and you were strictly working and trying to make a living for yourself and your family.
Yeah, that's so true.
Boys, you guys go ahead.
I think one of the big things that you see with athletes now is, and even when we were playing, is that the time commitment as an athlete. You're there from early in the morning, and Chris, you covered us all those years. You're there all day long. So understanding that on the other side of things, and people always say, well, why don't you do business on the off season? Well, you may have 2 months to try to get some business done, because the team, you're committed to that organization, and they could care less what you do outside of those walls. They want you to be a football player. You are a commodity. You better be there every day working out, getting ready, fit both physically and mentally. So the time to do business is, is short. It's very small. Yeah,
and it's funny that you say that, because I went to an event with Drew Pearson, and he said he had to get off jobs in the off season. It's 24 hours year round now. There is no off season in the NFL.
No.
Those guys, they can't. It's a full-time deal. Well, you guys have stayed long enough. You can stay longer. These guys are going to probably hang out a little longer. We appreciate y'all's time, but you can stay. You can go. You've been more than generous. Almost an hour of your time, so I appreciate it.
Hey, Woody, I'm going to be in Dallas in a couple of weeks. I'd love to catch up. I'll call you. We'll try to get together. Maybe we can hook up and go to dinner or something.
Okay, sounds good.
Hey,
good.
Bill,
Let's do it.
Bill, real quick, who looks younger now? That's me and you there. I think I made it.
I love that picture. That's some great memories right there, man.
Those are great memories.
God, look how much
Thanks for having us out to your ranch back in '92 or '93 or whenever that was.
Yeah,
let's hear some stories about
we had
that.
so much fun to have those parties out there. You know, I keep telling the people, you know, we get back to the playoffs, we'll have another party, but we got to get to the playoffs first, and we got to win.
Hey, look, man, before I go, I want to tell a quick story about Bill. And I got to get up out of here. But when I first came in '92, I was a young rookie, and Bill had been in the league, I don't know, what, 7, 8 years, Bill, at the time? I mean, he was
Probably about 20 by then.
Yeah, about 15. But he was the older statesman on the team, and he was the guy in the secondary that everyone looked up to. So I get in, and we are playing a preseason game in Japan, and it's my first game ever. Never played in the NFL, had no idea what's going on. And Bill's locker is right next to mine. And we're sitting there, and I'm watching Bill get dressed because I had no idea. You know, in college, your socks are down low by your ankle. You can wear your jersey any other way. They were half-cut jerseys when I was in college, but in the pros, you got to look accordingly or you'll get fined, right? So I'm sitting there getting dressed. And Bill Bates dressed me for my first preseason game.
Nice, how cute.
And if I could ever I have a football card from my first preseason game that I ever played in, and I look exactly like Bill Bates. But with darker skin, bro.
There you go. Well, we try to do your best, do what's right, and treat each other the way that you would want to be treated.
That's it.
I bet you next time you do Google Hangout, Woodson, you're gonna have Super Bowls behind you like he did. He's gonna man.
It's all set up.
Yeah, baby.
Hey, you're still learning from him, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome, guys. Y'all know how to exit? You just hit exit.
Yeah, appreciate you
Thank you,
guys.
guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, guys, for jumping in.
Thank you so much for coming.
See you next week.
Peace out.
Some good stuff this week on the first two questions, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Before I get out of here,
Yeah?
my book is released.
Oh, yeah.
BillBates40.com.
Hold on. Say it again.
Bill.com.
BillBates40.com.
And you can go check it out.
Awesome.
A
Thanks,
lot of
Bill.
history right there. Appreciate y'all.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, Chris.
We'll see you next time.
Okay, bye.
Thanks for
All
dropping
the
by.
best. Okay, all the best.
We'll follow you on Twitter. He just got on Twitter recently.
Is that a picture of Chris Yates on BillBates40.com?
I think it should be. It needs to be.
Go ahead and rip me for what I just put in the comments, since there's like 9 typos in it. You always got to remember, before you hit enter, make sure you read what you wrote. Just my little friendly advice of the night.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be, he sounds like the computer from
Space Odyssey.
Space
Yeah,
Odyssey.
no, that's cool.
Anyway.
That's all good.
Chris Yates, look at you putting together stuff tonight.
James, what, you finally talk now?
Yeah, well, I didn't want to say anything. I'm good.
James doesn't have a hat on.
I don't have my hat on tonight.
James, dude, why are you talking now? You had an opportunity to ask a question.
I was just enjoying. I was late to the party. So, hey, to I don't know your name, who works at Genesco Sports Enterprises.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, is that like John Tatum's and
Yes.
Charlie Toronto's company? So, when I was in college, that was my first internship.
Mhm.
In 1996.
Oh my God. Everyone's got a Tatum story.
It is.
Apparently.
So they hired me and I saw Charlie at like Uptown Burger, like a year, about 6 months ago.
James, Tatum was in my fraternity
Are you serious?
at UT. Yeah.
That's funny.
He was a senior when I was a freshman.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Pretty
I
well.
should have shown Darren Woodson my when he did an interview on my sports radio show. I'm pretty sure he would have remembered that.
Oh, yeah. It's a highlight of his career, he said.
I think so. He did a thing for Merrill Lynch, and he came on our Homer Sports Network.
All right. I haven't tweeted any of this stuff tonight.
I just gave you some props on Twitter.
Gave who?
You.
Why?
I don't know.
You think you'll still win on the mentions, be in the top 10, and you usually hold number 1?
I know. No way. I won't even be on there. I haven't tweeted once.
We'll see if it's flawed or not.
Dude, I'm going to have to catch up here.
I made our wife put our new baby to bed so I could come join you all on this hangout.
Dude, that's pathetic, dude.
Why?
Good job.
Guys, you don't know the story? He's got a 7-year-old baby, and he's trying to
No, a 7-day-old baby.
7-day-old baby.
7-year-old.
Did I say 70? I said 7 day.
That's a 7-year-old baby. No.
Hey,
she's on a day. Yeah, she's on day 8 right now.
He's got a 7-day-old baby, and all you want to do is listen to Woodson, and you didn't ask a question.
What am I going to ask him? I already know everything.
Unbelievable.
He's my sports hero. Do you think I can go to dinner with him and Bill Bates?
I'll go to that one.
I was going to ask. Could I join? I could ask Pete Delkus if he wants to join.
Goodness gracious. All right, what's question? Are y'all in question 3 yet?
Yeah, talking about this is right in your wheelhouse. Talking about connectivity in buildings.
Oh yeah.
Oh, how the connections suck and you can never get an internet signal anymore.
Yeah, and I just
Do you
tweeted
think
about
like a Verizon or AT&T would sponsor that and just bring huge Wi-Fi boosters?
You would think.
I once heard Mark Cuban.
Probably not enough. There's probably not enough sponsorship money to go around to do all the buildings, and then all the other buildings are sitting going, okay, what are my per cap expenses, and can I add stuff, and they're being slow. But I just tweeted out about, and you guys tell me if I'm wrong, you Dallas guys, the American Airlines Center. I've always heard Cuban, I've heard this, and I've read articles about
Cuban
this.
wants it to suck.
He wants people focused on the game presentation.
That's exactly what I'm tweeting out right now. You're right.
I've already tweeted it. You can just retweet me.
Oh, you can.
Or just take his name off of it and tweet it out like it's your own tweet.
No, yeah. I'm doing it. I'm writing my own version. I didn't see what you said. But you're right, Ken. He did say that.
And I just think it's very short-sighted that there's got to be a middle ground. Yes, I want my fans engaged in watching the game presentation and the dancers and whatever, but I also want them to be talking about and extending my brand outside of the building. And if they're on their smartphones and doing that at appropriate times, it's helping you accomplish that goal.
Right. Yeah, well, that comes from the kind of presentation that they have on like the jumbo screen and all that stuff. They can make it so it's like that. I mean, if you go to any baseball game, they do that during the 7th inning or certain like in between the 3rd and 4th inning, that kind of stuff.
The Rangers do that with the Ranger tweets, and they pull in. They pull in tweets that they show up on the big board. And does the Mavericks do that too? Like before the game? I think they're setting up. You think they would, so people could share their experience.
The Rangers, I'm going to interested to see if they do that correctly this year, because they did it incorrectly last year, in my opinion, because they had people tweet in the stadium to a special @Rangers game.
Yes.
They should have done it to the @Rangers with a hashtag @Rangers game.
Yeah.
And then everybody, I was at a day game last year, and they said, what did you tell your boss to get here? And there were some great slogans and great little stories and all this, but the only people that were enjoying it were the people that saw it in the stadium.
Yeah.
They had like 1,300 people follow that handle. And that's just, that was 8 months ago, and there's been a lot of changes now, but hopefully I think everybody's learning to understand how to use hashtags appropriately and how to incorporate those in the Twitter handle.
Yeah, I think we're all a bunch of early adopters. Obviously, we're on Google plus Hangouts here, so we don't speak for the norm. But I have seen, actually, I've kind of just my own little analysis of going to Stars and Mavs games. The amount of check-ins year over year, like when you're at one from a Foursquare check-in. 2 or 3 years ago, I go to a game, there might be like 30 check-ins at a game, and now you get up to 100, 200, 300 types check-ins. So it's definitely catching on, especially with the proliferation of smartphones. Broadband adoption has made it much easier, and then you have a bunch of savvy consumers now because like every major television show is hashtag The Voice, hashtag Survivor. So people are getting there. I think the problem sports has is you have teams, they can't dominate and own a hashtag. So like the Rangers, there's the Texas Rangers and the New York Rangers, or Kings, there's the LA Kings and Sacramento Kings.
If they're creative enough, they can with what their
They
hashtag.
can. You know, I saw this. I saw this 2 nights ago at the Stars game. They tried to get the hashtag pesky Stars going.
Yeah.
That was their way of doing it.
And you got Derek Holland on it.
Why are they doing that? Because they've already got a hashtag established, pesky stars.
That's the first time I saw the pesky Stars, though. I've never seen that before.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah.
It's all over their website and all over their Twitter feed.
So that's their way of doing it. But I mean, people don't, unless you're there in the moment. It's hard to follow that hashtag unless you're engaged with that show or that game, or you're at the game. So if I'm out and I just want to see how the Stars are doing, and I look at hashtag Stars, I'm not going to see everyone who's involved in that.
Well, that's exactly when you turn it to the person who handles their social media, as they should have a live search going on real time. That's what Twitter is beautiful for, and contact people and use that hashtag. I mean, that's how someone like me, who is just a person and not a team brand, met people on Twitter. So it's such a cop-out for teams that don't do that. I mean, they choose not to do that stuff.
I think that I'm a big golf fan. I think the PGA Tour does a good job, not only of like in tournament, like today. I think they do a good job.
Responding to people.
But they do a very good job of promoting their players and having them involved and engaged with them.
Yeah, but the one thing that they're really missing the boat on, they're not letting fans still. They finally, for the first time, let them bring in cell phones.
The Byron last year?
They still do not allow fans to take photos.
Yes.
That's so stupid. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but is that up to the PGA Tour, or is that up to like a media, contingency kind of thing? Because I mean, just because MLBAM is similar, like the way they do for MLB, I always feel like there's something that we don't know.
Yeah, I've heard some stories about them with those folks as well.
You think like PGA Tour, like 95% of their client base or target base has an iPhone.
What's that, Ken?
I was just going to say something about BAM, but you can't hear me?
Okay, go ahead.
Now? Just to echo Caleb's point a few minutes ago, because I think it's an important one. Teams and need to be monitoring what's being said, because if you engage with someone in that kind of one-off situation, it really wins that person over as a fan, and the average fan is dying for that connection to their brand.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So,
well, here, I'll give you a kind of thing that I've been doing. I will reach out to certain teams and ask for some kind of accommodation thing that I think is feasible, to the point that they can make something happen and make like a PR story for them. So I'm actually going to Chicago next Thursday, this Thursday actually, and I reached out to the Cubs. I said, never been in Chicago before. I'd like to tour Wrigley. Could you guys hook me up? They didn't answer me. Like, not saying, hey, answer me because of who I am, but like, there's teams that are dying for someone to engage them and say that kind of stuff. I mean, this person could be in spring training and not answer me, but say, hey, we can hook you up with someone who is working at the stadium, and contact this person, or DM me, or so. I mean,
absolutely.
Going back
that's
to your...
just. I mean, teams are missing a boat. I mean, it's just completely. It's just. I mean, look at the Redskins. The thing that the Redskins did.
Yeah.
That whole tweet. Want to hear something funny about that? I purposely called them out because I was pissed off, and I don't like who teams allowed to handle their Twitter accounts. So I found the guy who handled it. He's like the media publications guy. This guy was looking at my LinkedIn profile the other day.
Here's the deal with that, Caleb. It's a simple deal, and I said it the other day.
Yeah.
Teams don't respect social media. They won't. You think they would ever let if they would allow their social media people to do social media, then why don't you allow on ESPN to do a live television broadcast? They won't. You know why? Because they're scared of TV. But it's just social media. Just let anybody do it. Dude, it's the same game now, man. I think they're just as more powerful in the social media than they don't respect it. They think it's nothing.
Do you feel like they don't need to because they're so big and powerful? They're like, why do I need to?
No, I say they do need to.
But do you think they don't because they feel like the sense of entitlement, like we're so big anyway, why does it matter to us?
No, I just don't think that they even think it's really anything yet. I think they're starting to. I think they're starting to respect it a little bit. But
Because the players do it? What percentage of players do you think respond to their own tweets?
As opposed to like a PR person?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's a good thing, and I was actually going to ask Darren Woodson this, which is Michael Vick is someone who he handles his account, but he shares it with whoever idiot manager he has. Because he was in a press conference, this could have been before last season or during, like when he was hurt or whatever, and his PR person was tweeting while he was doing a press conference. So everybody was like, wow, it's not Michael Vick. Like, we now know it's not Michael Vick.
Yeah.
You just killed his Twitter handle brand. Like, you just killed it. So, I mean, it's a good point. I mean, I don't know the answer, but
Do you think they can't keep up with the volume, or?
no, I think it's because it's one of the things that Darren was saying is that everybody wants a piece of the action. Where someone's like, hey, I'm your boy from, Virginia, let me handle your stuff because I just want to, act like I know Michael Vick. But I have no clue what I'm doing. I mean, it's exactly the case. I mean, you'll see someone tweet links of like, hey, I got, a sponsorship from this company. Michael Vick's not doing it. Your PR manager is.
Yeah. I have the same problem. I have people who are trying to hang on to me and do my tweets too. So.
Especially because you have a baby now.
Yeah. I got like 11 people, and they all want to hang on my Twitter. So
Going back to the point before on the hashtags, I was at the Devils game on Friday night. They have a dasher board that's hashtag New Jersey Devils. And then, I mean, obviously they're leading the way with this, and I'm biased towards them. But they also they do a Devils first goal thing. And during the game, I forgot to submit my Devils first goal. The guy who I always guess scores the first goal, I tweeted at them. They responded immediately saying, oh, yeah, we know you always do that. What were you thinking?
Yeah.
So there's a perfect example of
that is a
great communication, and they're way on top of it there.
Yeah.
Well,
I think a lot going back to what Chris was saying
that's
about
the Devils who have a room full of people.
Yeah, exactly.
I was going to say, I was going back to what Chris was saying about how teams are kind of like standing off and just letting whatever person run it. It goes back to what me and Ken were talking about in SM Sports Chat on Thursday, which is the measurement question. When you ask a team, what do you measure? What do you take home and say, from this, what is showing success? Teams don't know what they're measuring, and they're missing the whole fundamental thing that we do in everything. How do we measure this? What's our goal? Do we want followers? Do we want mentions? Do we want engagement? If they don't have a measurement, they'll never know if it's a success. And until they can track actually what is the money maker, what's bringing in the money, is it the amount of fans that they're engaging, is it the amount of followers they have or likes that they have, they'll never know if it's working. So that's why they just give it to some idiot who, I wrote an article on the web once, let me do this. And that's
or
the same.
I'm 24.
Yeah, and that's just, hey, I'm 25.
Well, yeah, but you're a bright 25.
and I'm saying, like, that's the same kind of thing where, like, I have a job where I work at a small company, like a small business company. And what we do in the power of measurement, nobody ever was like, oh, we have to do this, we have to get this. I was like, this is what I want. If you have this goal, this is how I'm going to measure it. And the teams just have no idea. They're just like, oh, we're going to be on this space, and we're just going to, slap hands with everybody who walks by.
Everybody, I mean, I think probably 80% of teams, they will tell you they do social media well because they have a Facebook page and they have a Twitter account. I know what we're doing. We're doing a good job.
Right. But you didn't get the followers. The team brand got the followers.
Right.
Absolutely. Well, that's why, like, look at the Yankees. The Yankees have, 1.6 million or whatever. I mean, they're number one in baseball, I think.
Right.
But they don't do a good job. I mean, they don't.
They don't. I'll take that back for a step. I worked for Procter & Gamble for a year, and P&G can launch a Facebook page, and the next day 50,000 people will like it. That doesn't make them very good at Facebook.
Right.
It means that they have a brand and a platform.
Right.
So when you look at these brands, their engagement rates are horrible. They have like 0.001 engagement. So they could have 1 million fans and 1,000 people comment. That's not good. That doesn't show engagement. That just shows you're there. And when you look at like things that are impacting, don't get all social media nerd here, but like EdgeRank and things on Facebook and your search and social algorithm that's out now.
Mm-hmm.
I think those are things that people need to think about. I could go on Twitter and get 10,000 followers in Russia tomorrow. That doesn't make me really good at Twitter.
No, exactly. You could go on Fiverr.com and pay for that.
Yes, right. I mean, and so just because they're the Yankees or the Red Sox,
Yeah.
they're just a brand. They don't have the engagement. I mean, you could probably find minor league teams that can run circles around them.
Oh, yeah.
They're just pure engagement.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And I've talked to companies that are like, we have 10,000 followers. I'm like, how many of them retweet you, follow up with you?
Or how many people do you follow?
Yeah.
That's the argument that I always have. You'll have someone who follows like 5,000 people, and they'll be like, oh, I have 4,400 followers.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's great.
That's great. When you have like
It's a game of numbers.
15,000 followers and you only follow like 200 people, that's good, but how many of those people like are you actively engaging with?
Right.
I think that's where it matters. And things like CloudScore, as arbitrarily as they are, can, shed some sort of influence in terms of your engagement, amplification.
Thank you, TweetStar Game.
What?
I said thank you, TweetStar Game. That's the whole point of why we do it.
Yeah. I think Cloud's a little arbitrary myself. But
It is, but it's the leader of measurement.
it's a point. It's a data point that's out there.
They're working to be the authority. I mean,
Well, I can tell you this. My CloudScore was like 47, and then all I did is linked in my Google Plus, which has not. I'm not very involved in Google Plus, and my CloudScore shot to 57.
wow.
And
So
it'll simmer down because I think Twitter is the leading measurement on cloud.
yeah.
It's probably like 85% Twitter, and everything else is just like.
So I jumped 10 points because I loaded my Facebook and Google Plus, and I jumped to a 57.
How many friends do you have on Facebook?
Like 400 or 500.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. Why it would go up that much?
So, but on Google Plus, I mean, I don't think I have probably less than 200 in circles.
Yeah, but the fact that you're on there gets you some.
Exactly.
Wow.
That's the point that I'm on there.
Yeah.
On where?
On Google Plus.
Oh.
Is that what's bumped my score up?
Yep.
But I
Hey,
try
Chris.
really hard on Twitter
You
to
try really hard.
engage with
Trying to
people.
follow
Well, no, I'm a big fan of Twitter.
Yeah, so
Like
am
I
I.
tweet a lot, no one ever responds, but that's okay.
Yeah, I'm focusing on the stream.
Hey, Chris, LSU baseball is currently ahead of the Washington Nationals with number of followers.
I think I knew that. We're ahead of the Nationals and somebody else.
Wait,
Marlins, you're right behind.
It could have been the Marlins then, but
The
yeah, I
Miami
actually heard that.
Marlins?
Good
What?
job, man.
Have you guys heard the Miami Marlins new song for their team?
No.
I haven't.
You haven't? I gotta get it for you. Hold on 1 second.
How do the Minnesota Twins have 557 Twitter followers? I mean, that's
Who?
the Twins. They have 738 Facebook fans, but only 557 Twitter. I mean, how many different Twitter handles do they have?
Yeah, probably have many multiple.
They got like 9 or something.
Yeah.
You guys look
That
at this?
happens a lot on Facebook too. With
Do you guys
people
look
who,
at this Pat Coyle's sports fan graph from time to time?
Yeah, I do. I talked to him about combining with TweetStar Game, actually.
Really?
Yeah. He said, okay,
He's
maybe
added
we'll
this-
talk, and we just never talk.
He's added this new Facebook talking thing. I haven't been on here in a couple weeks.
Look, click on that video I just sent on the chat. If this
My old
isn't
boss works.
this isn't the most stereotypical Miami Marlins.
Hey, Caleb, we can actually do YouTube videos now within.
Yeah, they've allowed us.
Yeah, you want me to do it?
Yeah.
I'll put it
Yeah,
up here.
yeah.
It's actually saying it right up there at the top. If everybody just clicks on
So
the
if you hit YouTube, you can see it.
Cosmala, we didn't hear you.
Reminds me of a Carnival Cruise commercial.
Kind of boring.
Is that going to help them sell tickets? No.
winning sells tickets.
That's not a valid answer for most owners.
That's true.
Having 700,000 Twitter followers sells tickets.
Yeah.
That was horrible.
Ouch.
What's the best fight song ever? I loved Love You Blue, even though I was a Cowboys fan growing up. The Houston Oilers was awesome.
Are we talking? I think college has better fight songs than.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay.
We were talking.
Well, there's some annoying ones.
Anything but OU. Those ones are terrible.
I can't stand Dayton Flyers. I know that's like a weird one, but A-10 basketball.
I don't know what my old rival Texas A&M Aggies is going to do. Have you ever heard their fight song?
No, what is that?
Oh my God, are y'all joking?
I never heard it.
Goodbye to Texas. Let's play this one. Y'all will love it.
No, I want to hear you sing.
Just sing it, Chris.
Sing.
I should get my wife up here. She's
Sing.
Dude, it's like goodbye to Texas University. Say goodbye to the orange and the white. Goodbye to they actually say themselves once, I think, like we love our Aggies, and then it's like and saw varsity's horns off. The whole thing is about us. It's awesome.
That is our promo.
I don't know what they're gonna do when we don't play them anymore. I'm definitely finding it now. It's better than the Marlins thing.
The Miami Marlins.
Anything's better than that.
Yeah.
Here we go. Love it. Connect. Hello, here. Connect. Goodbye to Texas University. Yeah. See? We sing the eyes of Texas. They say the eyes of Texas are upon you. And then they say something like, sounds like hell.
They can play with their new rivals in the SEC. They're going to get so whipped in the SEC.
Hey, that's where Ken went to A&M, and he's gone. No wonder he left.
They are going to get so whipped in the SEC. Love it. Can't wait to see them fail.
Goodbye to Texas University.
Hey, do people still care about Linsanity? Hello? Hello?
Are y'all singing this? The whole song is about us.
I'm trying to ask a question, Chris. Oh.
They weren't, at least in the New York media, when they went on that nice 8-game losing streak, nobody cared anymore. And now it's starting to come back, not that the Knicks are winning again.
Is he good at all still, or?
I don't watch basketball, but from what I hear, he's not turning it over as much.
He can't.
He's all right. I mean,
he's not
I think it's worn off a
either,
little bit, definitely.
Did you guys stop watching that video?
Yes.
Yes, we did.
Oh, I was still on it.
Now we're still watching it, Chris.
That's the one thing I don't like. Like, I'm still watching, and I think you guys are still watching it.
Not.
I don't like that.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, I got to get going. I got to do some work before I go to bed and start work tomorrow.
If anybody wants to do a hangout at like 1 o'clock in the morning, I'll be up. I'm on the 1 to 3 shift tonight.
Oh, good luck with that.
Nice.
Bring it.
I'll catch you guys later.
See you, man.
Peace out.
Bye.
Thanks for having us.
See you, Caleb.
Take care.
Coming on tonight.
Go.
Yeah, Ken just took out without even saying bye. I think it was because I played the Aggie Warhammer.
Charles, he just tweeted at you. He's trying to get back in.
Oh, Ken is?
Yeah.
I feel like I know Ken from somewhere.
Everybody knows Ken, really.
He probably says the same thing about me.
James,
What?
I've introduced you before at the Social Media Club of Dallas.
Oh, well, there you go.
He used to be with the Texas Rangers. Yeah.
Did you work with Monroe Good then? He was with Texas. With the.
I don't know.
Do you know him? He's at Atomic now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Do you know my aunt lived before Darren moved to Plano? They shared an alley together.
Okay.
I could have brought that up too. Whenever I go to our aunt's house, be like, "Oh, there's Darren Woodson's house."
Well,
Then I would have
sucks.
been like a stalker. So
Ken, you missed the entire Aggie thing we just did.
Let's do it again.
Was it bad or good?
It was, of course, bad. I'm a Longhorn. Are you kidding?
Come on.
They said the Miami thing was terrible. I said, well, it's not as bad as the Aggies. All they do is talk about us and their fight song. And everybody up in the East Coast had never heard it, so we played the video.
There's a lot of fight songs that talk about their other schools, though.
I said, "What? Are you going to have to change your fight song?"
They're going to have to put in like Vanderbilt.
Or Missouri.
We will see. We will see.
No, but are you going to keep the same fight song?
Are you guys gonna? You guys reference A&M in yours. Are you gonna keep yours?
Do we?
Yes.
I don't think so.
Good Lord, Chris, you're going to school. God.
No, I don't think we do.
No, there's something in there that's kind of quirky, and it references
Oh, really?
something. So stop.
I
stop
think-
your.
Yeah, I think Aggies try and have this, correct me if I'm wrong, their rivalry at Texas is bigger in their minds than it is for Texas versus Texas A&M.
Hey, Chris.
Depends
just
on the year. In the
For
80s,
the record, I'm actually looking up the lyrics to the Texas fight song, and the second line says, "And it's goodbye to A&M."
It is.
Yep.
okay, that's one time.
Like the second line of the song. Like you have to go past the second line to get to the rest of it.
Yeah.
But now we have to
Hey,
replace that with
Chris.
like OU. So.
Way to go, Christopher. My
Just
wife's
doing
a,
some fact checking.
Thanks
hey,
for
my wife's
researching
an
that.
Aggie, so I can have fun with this. My wife's
So,
an Aggie.
how many people can you all put in this hangout?
10,
10?
but the world is watching. We actually got good views tonight.
I saw that. How did I get in then?
You got lucky.
I joined late. So is there like a waiting list to get in? And
Well, right now we're not full.
Yeah, we actually
before.
we actually had somebody jump out to get Mike Mahoney in, and you ended up jumping in.
And then you got in.
Yeah, that is true.
I took the
What a horrible pick.
That was a bad move on your
That was
part.
awful.
I should have taken that public invite down earlier.
Yeah, Charles, I don't know if you ever hung out with me. That's a really
We got
bad
a
move.
bad
dude.
trade on that deal.
Not.
The guy with a baby, 7-day-old baby, that's so tired he didn't say one damn thing.
What was I gonna say?
I just can't believe you were able to put him down.
Yeah.
So
Hey,
I made my
Charles.
wife do it.
Charles,
Yeah.
so all these people that are watching right now, okay, this is what Fox in LA did. People are watching, but if they're not invited, they can't get on.
Mm-hmm.
So what we should be doing is, hey, anybody out there that would like to pop in right now, put your name under the.
There's actually a public invite on the comment stream under this hangout, as well as on www.sharedcalendarevents.com. And
Yeah,
there's also
right
one
now,
in the Twitter
if-
stream.
If someone is watching and wants to comment, tell us who you are, and we'll invite you right now. Let's see if this works. Let's see if we have any viewers out there.
Sure.
And Charles, on your producer thing, you should totally put your like Twitter handle
That's not a bad idea.
so I could see it.
It's just at Charles Hogue.
Personal branding. So.
It's not a bad idea at all.
How did you make that so it
We
shows
said
up
we
on your
can do that
producer?
as well.
It's actually a thing that's
Here, send the link.
Yeah, I will. Hold on.
How do you do that? That's awesome.
Moritz Tolksdorf, I believe is how you say his name, created it from Germany. He actually just came to the U.S. for a hurl, a hangout in real life. Came all the way over here to hang out with people off Google+.
I love that. A hurl.
It looks so official. It says like Charles producer, web address.
He did a really good job. It's just a website. Let me get to it. Yates actually shared it with me.
I want one of those. I don't know what I'll do with it, but I totally want one.
Like, look, it's me. That's what it says.
It's like you're like a big time broadcaster.
I wish.
Hey Charles, did we ever get a ruling if I want to bring back my sign with the logo on it?
As long as you take the logo out, yeah, we definitely got a
Well,
ruling.
I can't take the logo out. It's part of the sign.
We can like tape across the big X or something.
Hey, so here's an interesting social media story. I saw a job in San Francisco at a company called Social Chorus. So I tweeted Brandy about it. I go, hey, Brandy, there's a job at Social Chorus, Senior Director of Social Media Strategy. You should check it out. I didn't put their Twitter handle. I just put Social Chorus. Social Chorus responded to both of us and said, thanks for mentioning us and thanks for thinking of us, which I thought was really cool. Speaking
That's
of
cool,
listening.
I got a call from I got a call from Dr. Pepper on Tuesday.
Are you
from
kidding?
following me on Twitter to interview for a marketing manager job.
Wow.
Just from Twitter.
Well, what's interesting too, y'all are saying that. There was now, granted, she responded 2 days later after I tweeted, but you can always find, like, IEG had a sports conference the other day.
That guy was freaky, by the way.
I love going to IEG or these big conferences and just watching people talk. And they had like Coca-Cola and they had all these people talking. And I tweeted out, "Oh my gosh, man, makes me want to work for Coke." Kind of kidding, because she was saying really cool stuff. We were talking about content marketing and how the world is changing and it's all interactive and it's about storytelling and all this stuff. I was like, I love what you're talking about. She tweeted back. Now, granted, it took her 2 days, but she was like, "Come on, come join Coke." So here's someone, the VP of marketing, Coca-Cola, that is responding. To me, that's very impressive. Like you were saying, that
it is.
But it's interesting. Some people listen and some don't.
They do. I got. I mentioned something last week about our newborn baby and hashtag dad life, and I got followed by diapers.com and a promo code. Be like, "Hey, congrats! Come check us out."
Did you buy diapers from them?
No.
Any advice for anybody getting married where they could do stuff like that at?
What, have babies?
No,
I'm
instead
not
of getting
married,
diaper
but I know how to make
promotions, like,
It's good. I mean, there's lots out there. Just these listening tools. I mean, even it's like Hootsuite, following certain keywords. I have them set up now, and the one I just saw on Hootsuite I think is cool is, especially if you have local business, you can search for a key term within a mile radius, the geo-targeted radius.
wow.
Wow, that is
So
pretty
you can
sweet.
find local businesses talking about the same things you are.
You want me to show you? I can show you mine.
By the
That's
way,
too
that
technical.
the
We just
website
hired-
earlier was hangoutgraphics.com that has that, and I threw it over here. This wonderful image.
Chris, did you see my answer print in the Dallas Morning News?
No.
I saw that. That was hilarious.
What was it?
The question is, what is the biggest waste of marketing or ad dollars, I think, or something along the lines of that.
And you just did that right now?
Maybe 3 minutes ago. It's already been retweeted.
I'll retweet it.
Allie, where are you? What town?
I'm in Hamilton, right next to Trenton.
Oh, okay, you're south of Princeton then.
Yeah.
You know, so I spent 2 summers ago, I spent the whole year in Bridgewater.
Yep, that's
2 summers ago, you spent the whole year?
Yeah, thank you, Chris. That's Aggie talk.
Just fact checking. Again, just fact checking.
Hey, Charles, can we make a little thing for him that says official fact checker?
Google fact checker. That's what
You
your
know,
sign should
it's not about facts. It's about getting it somewhat accurate. Just getting it accurate.
As long as it sounds believable, you're fine.
Yeah.
I would have even
That's-
noticed that
dude,
one. Though.
You just have to speak with conviction.
Yeah.
Hey, it's based on a true story is what I
Yeah.
It's not a lie if you really believe it.
37% of all CMOs use Hootsuite.
Yeah.
See? Sounds good.
Yeah,
Glad
there
you
you
made
go.
that number up.
You know what? I believe it.
See? It's not. It's confidence. Not even competence. It's confidence.
You got lower third.
Fake it till you make it. So.
I like it, man. Hang out lower third.
Did y'all want to see how to do monitoring at the local level on Hootsuite? Do y'all do that for your clients?
Fire away.
I'll show you. It's actually pretty sweet.
You can't do a shared screen in here, though.
You can't?
No, I mean you can, but I can't allow that to be shown
Ah.
because this
Oh,
is an on-air
boo.
account. Yeah, you need
Boo.
to, I gotta
Boo.
get that down.
Oh. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Oh, should I walk you through it? Oh, I'm all over the place. How do I get back now? Oh, geez.
Just click on the screen share thing up there at the top.
Oh, sweet. Good.
All right, I'm trying this generate thing. Okay, hold on.
If anyone cares, the Frozen Four has been set.
Good.
Old
I have to look at my
and
bracket.
2 new ones.
I got the Aggies on the bubble. Did they make it?
So Ken, I was actually, I'm sorry.
Got Minnesota and Boston College, who are always there, and then Union and Ferris State, who I think this is Union's first ever time. Yeah, it's their
Wow.
first ever time, and Ferris State hasn't been there in like 15 years.
Awesome.
All right, Charles, I'm gonna try this thing.
Hey, Chris, can you give me some Twitter props for my Darren Woodson tweet and retweet that?
Yeah, I don't know.
So
Is
I
it
can get on his
good?
radar. That'd be awesome. Thank you.
Is any good?
Yes. And I gave him props to his new company.
Oh, that's smart.
Thank you. I'm social
Yeah,
savvy.
what is that company called?
I don't remember.
He's not on anymore. We don't need to promote it.
No, I was gonna
Okay.
thank him for coming on and
Who cares? He's not
promote his
on
company.
anymore. We only do that when he's on. Guide hop.
Guide Hop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so Charles, I did that thing. Oh, never mind.
Since I run on a PC, I have to have another program running to make this be able to work. I'm not sure how a Mac will. Apparently you don't need the program. It'll just, you can make it work somehow, I guess, through using something already on your Mac.
Yeah. I don't know. Oh, well.
I was actually thinking, do you want to maybe try to do a social media training or discussion where we kind of get into the more intricacies of social media, and James, it would be kind of the same track you were headed with the Hootsuite.
Oh, yeah. I actually giving a presentation tomorrow. Tomorrow's is on how to use social media to find a job. But I have a 2-hour presentation on how small business and businesses in general could utilize social media to build their platform.
And I'm doing a webinar Tuesday with Major League Soccer on the same subject.
Well, that's cool.
So yes, the short answer is yes.
I knew you were both very involved in it, and I thought maybe this would be something
Yeah.
you'd be interested in doing.
Charles, how do you have time for all this, dude?
Here, check out. Here's a link to my presentation on SlideShare. And on one of them is it's the
Charles, when are you getting married?
September 15th.
Okay, it'll change.
social
Oh, no, I
media for
already
small
did once.
business.
Dude, you won't be doing all this stuff.
The first one's for a small business, you say?
Yeah, there's one social media for small business, and also how to find a job. That one's been viewed 4,000 times. That one's kind of cool. That was a little SEO play I did though. To make
James, are you out on your own, or are you with a company?
on my own. I used to be with Target Base, and I worked at agency.com. And then I was with Omnicom agencies for like 8 years, and then I went on my own back in 2010.
What part of the city you live in?
North Dallas.
I'm in Lakewood. We should get together for a coffee. I'd love to pick your brain a little bit.
Awesome. Let's do it.
More about just some of the challenges I have about being on my own is, always that fear of that next job coming in, but also pricing and just kind of,
Yeah.
proposals and things like that. I'd love to pick your brain a little bit about that.
Let's do it. I just kind of grind it out. So
And grind it.
you got to grind. I think 90% of it is just showing up to stuff
Yeah.
like this, going to networking events, meeting people.
Well,
So-
what I'm focused on is doing training, and really what I'm doing right now is just LinkedIn training only.
Oh,
Because
really?
I think LinkedIn is a great platform to start to act as your base for your social media.
Yes. Check out my presentation too. I do that, and I'm speaking out at the South Lake Career Focus Group on April 12th, and just how people can utilize social media to build their personal brand, how to use it to find a job, vendors, clients, customers, all that stuff. So
Well, I'll hit you up on Twitter, and we can.
okay.
You guys have met
Actually-
before.
Yeah, we have met.
Actually,
Y'all met
Yeah,
before in the
yeah.
Social Media Club in Dallas.
we did, right?
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I feel, do you work with Max Jaffe? Or do you know Max Jaffe?
No.
Did you have an office over off of like
No.
Northwest Highway and 75?
No.
What am I thinking of?
So I was at the Rangers. I was at the Rangers for about
Yeah.
12 years. And then I've been out on my own. I was more like sales training 101 kind of stuff for about 2.5, 3 years, and now I'm shifting the gears to social media training for sports teams.
Awesome.
All right, Ken, I just retweeted that, and I sent a picture of it.
And I assume you retweeted my thing too?
No, not yet.
Dude, come on.
Well, you saw that I tweeted out the picture of Bates with his Super Bowl to the SB chat early in the chat.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh, man, Jason already put out the hash tracking report. Man.
Lou's got competition for best backdrop now.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah,
I know,
that's
that
for
was
sure.
awesome.
Hey, why don't you go ahead and tweet that out, Allie?
Yeah, I've got a shot of that too. That was
Wow,
good.
Jason's already done the hash tracking.
Hey, Charles, do you do these like Google Chat producer things for other people or just this group?
The way that I have this, if you're interested, I have a whole pitch and everything that I can send you. Just circle our page and we can do a little. Well, I can talk about it now too. Essentially, like we can give you access to our page, which then gives you access to an on-air show. So I don't necessarily have to be here for it.
Yeah.
That's kind of the idea for the future. So I don't have to be in every one of them.
Yeah, so I have I have a client, they're a healthcare job board, and I think Google Plus Hangouts would be amazing for them to talk with other healthcare professionals, what's going on in the market, how they can position themselves, how they find the best jobs, so they could be the authority in the space. But I have no idea how to do that. And
yeah.
you have this cool producer tag, so that makes
Hey, they got 1.5 million impressions tonight.
Wow.
So I would totally like hire you or contract you out for that to see if we could do a Google Plus Hangout for them. They have a weekly newsletter that goes out to 20,000 people, and they're specifically in the healthcare IT space.
Yeah, I would absolutely be available for something like that.
All right, let me get your stuff because I'm working on that.
Randy has 54 tweets, man.
I can send you
Holy
a
cow.
personal message with all my information.
Okay. And then actually, I'll send you my online calendar. If you want to like book a time that works for you.
I was going to. I'm sorry.
Oh, we could just pick a time and talk offline.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, I don't know if you know or not, our page schedules webinars and any other events that go on around the world. So if you would like a little bit more publicity, there's a form if you fill out. You can have complete control over your event description and everything else, and it will get promoted in a daily roster that goes onto Google+.
Wow.
Yeah, I just kind of created all this over past 2 months, so we can talk, definitely.
I'm in.
I started a page on here a couple months ago for a small business, and it's about to cap 3,000 followers.
Yeah, and I love giving my presentation on social media for a small business. That's my market too. So if there's a way to come on and present or be on a thing, I'm all for that.
Yeah, right now we're looking at, we have 1,400 followers, so your audience of possible people to join would be 1,400, and then we can promote it on the website and through Twitter with live links to invite.
Charles, man, you're about to get married. You're going to have all these shows.
As long as something comes from it, I think everything will be okay.
Should be cool, yeah.
Did they send out the transcript yet? I don't see it.
I haven't seen it go by. I sent a message to Lou, though.
Allie, I like yours.
I saw that.
That's funny.
So did I wasn't in there for Darren's spiel on his company, Guide Top.
Yeah.
That's a really interesting company.
Yeah.
I love Airbnb. I think it's awesome. So
He's a
it's
good
kinda
guy,
similar to
man.
that.
All right, guys, I got to roll.
Yeah, I got to hit it.
So Charles will be in touch, and Ken, let's definitely get together.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'll see you later,
I'm
man.
seeing you tomorrow.
I know, 9 o'clock.
All right.
Bring it. All right, later.
All right, guys. Later.
See y'all
Have a
later.
good night.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us again.
I'm out
Charles,
too.
I gotta I got to hit it too, guys. Not the y'all.
All right, all y'all who are watching, thanks for joining. Thanks
Oh,
for
you're
watching.
gonna. Are you doing the sign off?
If you would like to, then go for it. I don't know.
No,
Sometimes
I want
you
you
just like click.
That was a little defeated. Okay, guys, thanks for joining. Appreciate it.
Yeah, Charles. That was good. I mean, I thought it was good. Charles, come on. Hey, go. Ready, Charles? Sign out.
Thanks for joining. Thanks for coming on, Darren Woodson and Bill Bates. We look forward to having you on here again. As always, great show. Chris Yates, Ken, Allison, Caleb, everyone else who joined, and Lou, hopefully you'll come on next time. We'll see y'all later.
Right. Where'd he
Nice
go?
work. See ya.
Thanks,
See you
everybody.
next week, guys.
All right, bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.